goes over to RPG, and KT are taking us to Cursed Hollow.
So here's the thing, right? I mean, there's two scenarios. Like, A, they played on without the player disconnecting, and it was like a 4 versus 5, and they lost. Or B, as Tetris said, they could have basically just forfeited and be like, yeah, we would have lost this game 100%. And in this case, it's definitely legit to assume that, because let's face it, the game was almost over anyway. So I don't have any major issues with them forfeiting or just declaring RPG the winner. For now, though, game number 2, the cards are going to be shuffled anew. So let's proceed right to it and see who's going to win.
Indeed, we head into the draft as we are graced by the presence of the lovely Michael Udall. Hello.
Hello there, good sir, and thank you for the host earlier on. Big shout out to you, my sir. I appreciate it.
So, yes, we do love Michael Udall. As we see the Abathur as the first ban, RPG have done their research about how KT have nearly won against some of the other top teams in the league.
Right. Yeah, I mean, RPG's statistics, man, they are quite impressive. I actually didn't know that they were so good on a couple of battlegrounds, but that of course tells us that there was a reason why they were able to take maps off the big 3 in the past, and that just once again is a testimony to their improvement overall. Keep in mind, guys, RPG in last phase of HGC China, it was the first ever season to play competitively on a big stage. They were an amateur team causing a little bit of a ruckus, but having this consistency and staying in shape is more than impressive.
Exactly. They are doing so well and have grown so much. And like you said, they have been consistent, very rarely dropping off at all.
We will just forget about the Wukong mishappening.
Yes. Either way, they are now, after last game, they are now 10-0 on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is impressive. I'm pretty sure that's the highest win-loss ratio that anyone has. Like, other people have 100% maps, but that's after like 5 or 6 games, maybe. No one has a 10. In HGC China that we know of. We'll have a look into it later. For now, though, what do we need for RPG? Ariel's still available and wasn't picked by KT. Do they play it? Because Uther, like we know, is SAR's go-to hero. Brightwing seems to be his second.
Yeah, we saw Brightwing coming out yesterday. We were a little bit skeptical when he first locked it in, because as you said, we're normally more used to seeing him on likes of Uther, Rhaegar.
Win rate on it.
Yeah.
When he played it yesterday and then changed that.
Once again, contributing to Brightwing's rise in popularity and win rate. Like, Alufal basically started all, and Sa from Team RPG, he hopped on the bandwagon and played some Fairy Dragon as well. But they're gonna pick the Wang Murden. Oh, that's a statement right there. I want to call, Double Dwarf. I want to call Wang the JPL of China.
I'd agree. I think that's a very good comparison. Probably one of the best tanks that exists in the world. Muradin Stitches, insanely good on those heroes. I'm glad that he is varying to those again, as opposed to just auto-picking a Nubrak like we saw yesterday a bit and the day before. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, switching it back to your comfort picks that might not necessarily be super in meta is definitely a quality that can really confuse your opponents and sometimes catch them off guard. So having like those 1 or 2 pocket picks that no one really expects and no one is ever going to ban is definitely very helpful in creating those unpredictable drafts. And that's exactly what RPG is doing here now. We see the Rhaegar ban coming in, because that's the thought process here. Why do they not ban Ariel? Because KT could just pick it up themselves, right?
Yeah, and they don't really have, RPG don't really have a hope generator, so they have no fear of RPG really taking it, so they ban out the Rhaegar themselves and leave the Ariel open for RPG to ban out if they're scared of a double support, or for KT to pick up if RPG don't remove it.
Yep, here we go. And what does KT need now on the other hand? Are they going to ban Ariel? I think they're probably going to have to. There is a couple of other options, maybe the Anubarak if you really don't want to worry about the Cocoon all the time, because so far there isn't really a lot of Cocoon shredding potentially available for RPG. Li Ming is definitely not going to get picked here because, let's face it, they need another frontliner. So the Ariel ban just makes a lot more sense. Ooh, going for the Vala instead. Okay.
Indeed, this is fine.
Yeah. It basically saves the serves the same purpose, right?
Yep, I'd say so. It removes the best option for the double support. You can still Cassia, you can still Lunara. So they're still fine to go for that if they really want to. And someone pointing out, gonna be fun once Kel'Thuzad is released to talk about KT draft. It's like, oh, KT have drafted KT, and oh, KT by KT, and combined with KT are gonna have a really good time with this KT combo.
Okay, yeah. My mind is blown right now, but you're totally right. I mean, that of course requires us to ever get Kel'Thuzad, and I know that Blizzard likes to tease its fan base with a couple of meme heroes like Deathwing and Kel'Thuzad and Phoenix.
Which one do you think would come first, Phoenix or Kel'Thuzad?
If I had to guess, I would go Kel'Thuzad. I've got my own, theories. I've got my own prophecies in terms of next content, and I think...
I believe, if my maths is correct, the next hero reveal would be about Gamescom time.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, because Gamescom traditionally has been one of the greater exhibitions at which we're going to find out new things about Blizzard games. Blizzard has normally their own stage, their own segment in one of those gigantic halls. So by far the biggest venue or the biggest area of any other game developer at Gamescom. So they've really put a lot of emphasis on revealing new stuff there. So I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see 2 new heroes being announced. And Karazim plus Zeratul, Chicken Classic, here we go.
Yeah, but not a SAR Classic. He doesn't play Karazim as nearly as much as Uther. He did play a little bit last season, but not as much as like Uther or Rhaegar or stuff like that. So cool variation coming in.
Yeah, definitely true. Now, how much Wombo potential is there? Not a whole lot, right? So the VP goes down not to initiate those devastating combos here. It's more, I think it's more going to be used like an isolation tool, like a disengage tool, especially when you get hooked by someone. You can really just deny all the follow-up damage if you time it precisely. So I think Zeratul is just all in all a really solid hero on Cursed Hollow in general, right? He can take over the lanes, he can go for sneaky tributes, he can dominate boss fights still. So I like it overall, I really do.
Yeah, I like it too. Also, just quickly, Karazim, 50% win rate over 6 games for SAR, so it's fairly average for him. He's played it nowhere near as much as Uther. He's played Karazim 6 times, he's played Uther 17. So that's good.
Okay, alright. That's definitely clear language right there.
Yeah, a disparity. He's played Medivh once. I'm struggling to work out when that would have happened. Who was the healer in the game?
I think it probably would have been Infinity or...
Sure, right?
Yeah, probably.
I'm curious.
Definitely not Chicken.
No, definitely not Chicken. I'd love to see where that game was... Oh, it says. It was versus... it was before he was on RPG? On RPG when he played for a team called DDT and they were against Zero Panda.
Okay, so he basically had a role swap then when he joined the likes of RPG.
Yeah, I'm looking now. Heroes. Yeah, he played the flex role on that team.
There we go. Nice. Always cool to see role swaps, because oftentimes, even after playing the game competitively for a few years, will players realize, hey, I'm a natural-born support player. Let me do that more often.
So DDT actually, this is interesting because I had no idea this scene existed. DDT had Loktar, Sar, and Wang on it.
There we go.
So there we go. These players have known each other for a while. As we head into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, between RPG and Kudos Top. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cursed Hollow. And spawning on the left-hand side, currently 1-0 up in this series. It's RPG with Chicken on his classic Zeratul, Wang on his classic Muradin, Sar on Karazim, Infinity on Falstad, and Loktar on Greymane.
Here we go, and their opponents once more are going to be KT in the Reds with T-Dye. On the Uther, Neptune playing Dehaka, Fury goes for the Tychus, Seeing on Li Ming, and Butcher. Not going for the Butcher, but going for Hungry Stitches. Who's hungry at Tetra, the Butcher or Stitches?
I think Stitches, because Stitches is very indiscriminate about what he actually eats, whereas the Butcher really only likes fresh meat.
Butcher is very picky, isn't he?
He ain't about that frozen stuff.
No frozen stuff, no no veggies, no green.
Fresh and organic.
Exactly.
Pasteurized meat only.
Can you imagine like a posh, fancy butcher skin with, you know, fine clothes and being very delicate about his food and meat?
Yeah. I suggested this ages ago. I want a vegetarian butcher skin. Fresh veg. Just comes in, he's holding a leek, and he smashes people with it.
Slaps you with a big carrot.
Lamb to the slaughter is just a chopping board.
Yeah, there we go. He would have a totally new relationship to Malfreon's broccoli then.
Oh yeah, it would just aggro him. It would taunt like Varian. Just come straight at it. Either way, start onto Loctar as we see Katie at the start just clearing minions, some aggressive rotations, but so far neither team are playing aggressive enough to be able to lock down the kill.
And even if you ended up getting hooked there as Wang, you know, the Murden, you probably wouldn't really care. Like, if there's one warrior that probably still has the best survival chances after getting hooked, it's definitely Murden. Dwarf Toss, Avatar, Healing Static later on, there's going to be plenty of tools for him to make sure that he just doesn't go down that quickly. In the meantime, though, we see Chicken getting caught, dodging, easy peasy. That looked picture book perfect. Sidestep, elegant.
Once again, making it look easy. Sark. Yep. Using his dash to go through the Haka and dodge the drag. Beautiful play.
Those are just the little things, you know, the small things that make Heroes of the Storm such a beautiful game. And you can always see that you never knew it all. You can always learn. Like, I didn't even know how to utilize that. I mean, in theory, I guess I would have known, but I would have never even tried to apply it like that. So, in the meantime, we wait until the teleport and—
oh no! You can't hook through structures, you fool! Butcher! God damn. Well, leaving dies. Gets picked off here, and that is going to be first blood going over to RPG as Zeratul continues down his cleave build.
Yup, it's going to be another cleave build. Now, we have to carefully analyze why Zeratul would want to go for this build. Obviously, it deals more ability damage. It has a poison over time effect as well,
which is weird.
Yeah, there aren't really any blinds on the side of KT. There aren't really, you know, any other disengaged tools
blocks.
too much.
I mean,
blocks, yeah.
The counter to magic here. We have the dampen magic, we have the force armor, and in theory, Tychus could take Neosteel plating. This is— I don't understand this one.
I really don't. I would love to give you guys an insightful analysis on why Chicken would go for the slash build, or for the cleave build, excuse me. We have seen this phenomenon arise every now and then. I mean, Rich in HGC Korea, he also played it, but there it was actually legitimate because the enemy team had at least 2 sources of blinds. They had a couple of anti- or physical armor, might want to say so.
Oh. Chicken thinking he had the other build. Very nearly losing the 1v1 versus Dahaka there.
Yeah. Let's see how strong that build can be. I mean, for now, we remain a little bit, you know, meh. Unconvinced.
I mean, the AoE is good. The AoE can be a good enough reason to take it anywhere. This is going to be a very grouped up team. That might be the, in general, reasoning behind it, as Neptune is getting his ass whooped by Sar.
Yeah, takes retaliation sticky tongue though, but no kill gained here. Once again, we see the Spirit Ally coming out for RPG. That makes a lot of sense, although against Tychus, not only because of his auto attacks in normal human form, but also in Odin form. If you deny the damage or 50% with the Earth Ally, that could be really good. Nice interrupt, last second save.
So clutch. KT, they are still holding position here. The difference is Zeratul is currently soaking unattended in the mid lane. Dahaka had to go B.
Exactly, and as long as you have people like Sa and, you know, Wang nearby who are not very easy to kill and lock down, you can basically occupy this tribute phase or this tribute location forever. Beautiful teleport over the wall. That was clutch.
Uh-oh, Sara is currently playing dodgeball with hooks and tongues as he's trying to get out of here, able to back up to Wang.
Now, keep in mind that RPG does not have Tychus at the ready. If KT, if RPG decides to flip the switch and pull in the fall set as well, they can basically turn this into a 5 versus 4 situation in no time. And I think that, that was a beautiful hook there by Butcher.
Max range, but Greymane taking the opportunity, diving into the backline as everyone was focusing on Tsar, killing off Li Ming, and they get Stitches too. And there is that switch flipped. Locktar sees the opportunity, a nice engage by KT that was turned completely on its head, and RPG pick up the tribute and 3 kills.
They didn't even have to give up a lot of soaking in order to get that first tribute, right? True, it took them a little while until they got it, but they didn't fall behind in XP, so it was all goody in a hoodie for RPG. They're about to get level 10, and only 1 tribute has been taken. That's an exceptionally long time. The first tribute was active. Infinity has the map awareness, has the communication, and he smells that Neptune is cooking something here.
Neptune, like you said, doing his best rock impression, but Infinity can smell a lemon.
Here we go.
The rock is cooking. As the boss is taken very quickly by RPG. That was a very fast clear.
Yeah, that was so fast the camera didn't even catch it, so we might argue did it even happen, or did the boss just decide to fight alongside his RPG side on its own? We never know.
Oh, Wang jumped back in, but Muradin, so little hop to get to freedom there. As level 10 is available for RPG, we have Cursed Bullet, Mighty Gust, 7-sided Strike, the Avatar, and the Void Prism. And I do not get to tick off the Shadow Assault from my list today, because never.
Not today, not today. Can you imagine, or can you remember, I should say, like half a year, no, it's definitely longer ago, like 1.5 years ago when Shadow Assault was actually played in competitive?
Yes. Yep, MVP Black versus Virtus Pro at the WCA. No, sorry, it was IEM. It was at one of the first IEMs that ran it. IEM Shanghai, I think it was. And they did, and MVP Black ran it there, running a bugged version of the ability where if you were to target a minion so that the dash would activate, and then target an enemy hero anywhere else on the map, the dash would continue and you would dash all the way to the enemy hero. And that's what MVP Black did, and they were able to globalize Zeratul. So, Divine Shield dropped onto the Odin here, picking up the kill onto Zeratul.
Wang escaping over the wall, hibbity hop to safety, but 2 heroes still die on the side of RPG. True, they got the boss, and true, the boss is hammering on the fort already, but losing 2 heroes is still, you know, it comes with a bitter taste, the victory that is. They still maintain a healthy lead, they got the fort, giving them even more XP, so I think in the end, it was not the worst trade possible, but it was also not the best one.
Agreed, very much agreed. They were able to they're going to be able to clear up that boss pretty easily, but the fact that RPG got it at all was still quite impressive.
Could have ended like a disaster, but Infinity there with a full set Gust, easily securing the boss. And that's of course one of the big advantages of having Falstad on Cursed Hollow. Still one of his better battlegrounds, still such a force to always be reckoned with. Now, both teams are basically licking their wounds. They're trying to wait until the heroic abilities are off cooldown again before they want to commit to any major engagement. Those teams just don't seem to care about tributes. Look at that. They're going for kills and ganks in the bottom lane. Nobody wants the tributes.
Yeah, they harassed Neptune. There's 2 people down here to try and kill Neptune, despite the fact he's the global hero who can just leave. So they're finally rotating up. Can RPG delay long enough? They burn Gust for this, which is going to buy them a lot of time. Zeratul and Muradin will actually make it.
Yeah, the Haka, of course, has the brushstroke available, but they try to squeeze in every minute, every seconds to get themselves to 13 and fight with a talent advantage. It's not there just yet.
Disintegrate. Disintegrate picks up the kill, the Divine Shield Li Ming, getting so much value. Here comes the dominance, getting all the resets, but Wang finally able to pick up the kill in the backline.
Wang gets the kill on Li Ming. That was very important. She already had a couple of resets, but the Odin hammers down on Greymane, and down he goes. Only the dwarves left alive, and despite they're pretty hard to kill and quite feisty and good at drinking, they could not sustain through this at all. And finally, another tribute in favor of KT. Also a 2-for-1 trade. Very, very good, because they need to get 13 for the next one.
Yeah, this is not going too well for RPG right now. They're ahead in terms of XP and levels, but the last couple of fights, Zeratul's just been focused and they lose. They're not even using Void Prism.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like, Void Prism so far hasn't really had that much impact. And that's been something we have been critical of in the past, that Zeratul's in China, despite loving the hero, just don't seem to make him look as good as in other regions. No longer do you have this big playmaker, this big combos. Instead, it always looks a little bit overwhelming. Uther, though, stepped to the wrong neighborhood.
Yes, he did. Takes a lot of damage. I had a bit of lag.
Yeah, me too.
Hits him now. My timer is still stuttering. I will tell you once it stops.
Yep. Pion just stepped over the cables here, I think.
I have exactly 5 FPS. I have less, technically. I have 0 right now, because I'm watching the script, just an empty screen. 1 FPS! Hooray! I've achieved.
Yep. This is not good. We would love to give you guys some casting on what's going on, but we don't know.
Maybe?
I think we're back now.
Maybe?
Okay.
I think we're good. Okay, I'm on 13.
Let me double check here real quick. I'm sitting on...
Oh, no, sorry. The broadcast is 16.
16?
Yes.
I'm sitting on 13, so we're both going to refresh, I guess.
Yes, we shall. We'll have a quick refresh.
Now I'm sitting on 7.
Still in the process of refreshing.
7 and 8.
8.
Here we go. Nailed it.
8. So 1 second behind. All good. That's all we need. Okay, so KT looks like they were able to pick up the tribute and get themselves a curse after killing off the Falstad. RPG, though, still ahead in experience. They're utilizing their split soaking quite a bit.
Yep, there we go. They definitely caught up quite handsomely here. The curse is going to give them even more value. In RPG, for the first time in this series, looking extremely shaky. The minion is going to intercept the hook. Good for Sa and Wang. Now, though, they're defending all 3 lanes. That's at least something. And despite the curse, and despite the fact that KT caught a lot of momentum, they didn't really destroy a lot of buildings.
Yeah, very true. They haven't done a huge amount. They're attempting to go for top right now, which is open. Greymane already pulling back, so they're not going to be able to get hit. Oh, careful, Noctar. Okay, the fact that that watchtower's being taken, they know that this is happening. They're going to pull back.
Oh, Neptune.
Aggressive play.
Oh, and nice try by Butcher as well. You have those, you have those hooking locations over the wall where no obstacle is going to save you from the hook. And he tried to go for the blind hook. Could have worked. Could have actually given them the kill as well. But it was not meant to be this time around. And in the meantime, RPG going for a sneaky 3-man boss here. Wang buying enough time for his comrades to get it. The stone skin is it? Oh my!
Silence body block.
They really wanted him dead.
Killed off. Yes, they did. The hook grabbing him as he made his leap for freedom. Boss was taken. Territorial gets a little bit of poke damage. 3 heroes hit with that cleave. That's very nice.
And all of a sudden, KT, they're basically forced to run towards the bottom lane. I think RPG, despite being 1 man down, they could actually try to sneak in the top boss as well, right? Depending on how many people they see defend in the bottom. Oh, what?
Yeah,
Sa?
not sure. Huge damage, Sa. Aggressive, though. That was unnecessary.
Unnecessary and not needed at all. All he needed to do was just Radiant Dash to a minion or one of his teammates in the vicinity. I don't think he really could have taken down Li Ning anyway, because Uther was nearby, Divine Shield was there as well, so he should have definitely anticipated that this was a suicide mission. And RPG, they need to group up again. They can't afford to get staggered deaths anymore.
Yeah, Infinity's not going to attempt a boss gust attempt.
No.
Instead, it's going to let
that only happens on YouTube.
And they're going to put pressure onto mid.
Yeah, that only happens on YouTube, not in the HGC. I mean, it could happen. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, which is a shame, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Boss goes down after killing off the front wall. Keep goes undamaged, but that's still a little bit of pressure, a little bit of vulnerability, considering that is an RPG side boss lane.
Alright, so still, despite the fact that KT got a couple of nice kills, they got a boss in top lane, the big damage on the side of RPG still has to be done. And KT, they really need to, put the pedal to the metal a little bit more. I really want them to turn the speed up. I really want them to ride the momentum a little bit harder, because only getting forts, that's not something they can be satisfied with. Oh, yeah. Not even getting the fort. Okay.
Yeah. No XP for you, KT, as they are denied. However, we're miles away from the next curse, so
yeah,
let KT pick up this tribute, as this will be their first one after the reset.
Level 20 now. Definitely the prime goal for RPG to acquire. They don't care about the... Oh, 7-sided. Can he get out of harm's way?
To minions. Stun to ally.
What a nice guy!
What a nice guy! Gives his teammate a place to dash to. He gets dragged in. He may have given his life. Avatar is dropped. Gust is a disengaged. Chicken is a distraction. And they are out unless Butcher can land a hook.
Is he going to have another hook here? That's the question. It misses, seeing taking a lot of damage in the process as well. Odin has been popped, and are they going to commit to it? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, damage is dropped, but everyone able to get out. What a nice guy, Wang, saving Sa there. But
We've
Sa
been waiting for this.
That
was he gave us the perfect situation to use his nickname.
Exactly, but that was perfect. Seven-sided strike,
yeah.
Minion gets stunned, Wang gets in range, dash to that as well, and they're able to escape. Beautifully done. A little invade coming in from KT here, but the camp is taken by RPG.
That's exactly why you go for the triple dash on most builds for Karazim. Alufal has his own variation where he goes inside and full Fist of Fury, but of course you can even go for this talent if you go inside as well. The triple dash is just so useful, especially if paired up with Waves of the 100 Fist. So really cool synergy and really good utilization of Karazim's superior mobility. Now, needs to be careful though. He can't always have that luck though, Sa, dodging it with ease.
Yeah, and games like this make me wonder why Sa just doesn't play Karazim more.
Yeah,
I guess
I want to see more of that.
Because it's not meta, which is slightly disappointing. Butcher going for it. Zeratul will be able to deny once again. They are very split RPGs, seven-sided, getting a little bit of damage. VP, what can they follow up with? They're focusing Tigers, who goes into the VP, so they change it to Seeing, who also goes to the VP, but Zeratul with the cleave! All 5 members getting 2, Butcher's getting burst down, everyone else has dropped. Chicken will likely die to Neptune at least here.
Makes it...
Body blocks! Chicken blinks away! Infinity saves Chicken. Neptune goes down. Butcher is slowly getting burned down by Wang. And he will get killed off. That's going to be a full team wipe by RPG. VP into 5-man cleave. This is how...
Come get me! Catch me if you can!
Well, down goes the Keep and potentially the Core. 23 seconds.
Yeah.
17 before the first hero to return. The Siege Giants, they are going to attempt to go on the core.
Yeah. They're going to have the Mighty Gust available as well, just in case KT respond in time. So they could have easily just pushed them back into their own base again, but they don't even need it. RPG takes game number 2 as well. The Gust is just for show off here. And that last team fight, Tetra, I gotta say, that was the best execution I have seen from them in the entire phase 2. Like, everything came to perfect execution, like the VP, the Slice build, or the Cleave build by Zeratul dealing so much damage, Karazim baiting it perfectly, 7-sided strike hitting as well. Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. RPG taking game number 2. They take the series 2-0, and as such, RPG hold their position, which was always going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Soa, on the other hand, are going to... Soa and KT, however, will both remain tied on 10 points. So they are still sitting down in that 7th and 6th position. And Hots Lady have not been able to move up and overtake RPG. So, all the positions are set. You know exactly how this table is going to end for the Eastern Clash, except one. We have one more position to decide, and it's first.
And it is the pole position indeed, Tetra. And this is basically the moment we've all been waiting for. The best of the best are going to face each other here to prove once and for all who's going to become the Chinese champion to represent China at, you know, the next Eastern Clash. Before we move towards it, though, we're going to take a look at the MVP vote. We're going to take a final look on the statistics of last game. Tetra, I do want to say this, though. I've been feeling more excited towards this game than on any other top match in any other region, because I've been casting this with you now for 2 seasons, and we know these teams. We know how undervalued and underrepresented China oftentimes is when it comes to other regions, and I just want the world to recognize the full strength of China, and what better way, to do it than watching this best of 2. Yeah, and we couldn't write it better. We couldn't write that the final game on the final day would decide which team takes the number 1 seed. Chicken, well-deserved MVP there. He did die twice, but overall still played spectacularly. But we can see stats here. KT got several kills. They did very, very nicely in that game overall. They just lost a couple fights here of the important fights. They won most of the fights, but they lost the important ones. Yep. There we go. That's basically all she wrote for those 2 teams. It was the last game for them in Phase 2. Nothing really changed dramatically. As Tetra said, RPG maintains their 4th place, whereas KT still shares 6th and 7th place with Soa. But Tetra, give us your prediction, give us your feelings about this upcoming best of 2.
Well, let's explain how the scores can work as we see the Chinese casters fairly back and forth. A couple 1-1s were predicted. But here is the points rundown of how it can work. Okay. Currently, SOA are currently SPT, Super Perfect Team, are 1 point ahead of CE. 33 points to 32. If Super Perfect Team win 2-0, they beat CE by 4 points. Yep. If they tie, they will both get 1 point, and Super Perfect Team will still come first. If CE win 2-0, then they will beat Super Perfect Team by 2 points. The only winning scenario for CE is a 2-0. Everything else keeps the Super Perfect Team in first place. With that, I am leaning towards a CE 2-0.